Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thanks for coming to watch. So we got guys an update on a huge pattern flip that has sent many shots of cold air down towards the lower 48, and much of the eastern United States will be cooling down here over the next couple of weeks. We're also talking about a potential trouble in the tropics as the models have picked up on a signal for a possible named storm to develop as we get into the rest of August. I've got all the details coming right up, so they are going to be here on this Tuesday evening. We have lots to talk about in this video. We're going to be going over all his details on, again, this big pattern flip that's bringing us a lot of cooler and nicer air and conditions to much of the lower 48, as well as, again, that tropical system that I mentioned. We'll be talking about the latest signal for that. But as always, we'll start out here by taking a look at your current radar, just to kind of get a look at what we've got going on. So right now, obviously we've got a huge pattern flip that's currently sending lots of cold air down to the United States. So as a result, we are seeing lots of warm air and a ridge that is currently building up here in the western United States. And this has sent a lot of tropical, like monsoon moisture up here into the southwest. So we are seeing a lot of monsoon rain and thunderstorms out here. And so again, you can see as a result of this pattern flip, we are seeing lots of thunderstorm activity. We've been seeing thunderstorms really every day so far this week across portions of California, all the way out to the Rockies here, even into portions of New Mexico. We have been seeing some very, very heavy and persistent thunder showers there. So these will likely continue for the next couple of days, potentially even the next couple of weeks, as we really do not have a huge signal from the models quite yet that we will be snapping out of this pattern anytime soon. But you can see the rest of the country looks picture perfect. Literally no precipitation other than maybe a few scattered showers and thunderstorms across the northeast. But again, very, very cooler and nicer conditions currently ongoing here across the central and eastern U.S., so make sure that you are enjoying it while it lasts, because I'm sure that in no time we will start to see a few little pattern changes that could definitely bring some not so nice conditions down back into the lower 48, especially the eastern half of the United States. So we move things over here to the National Weather Service homepage for our advisories, watches, and warnings here. And you can see, again, kind of similar to what we were looking at the radar, really nothing going on here across the central and eastern United States. You can see an almost completely kind of clear map, if you will. But we do have some beach hazard statements going out for portions of upstate New York. We have actually been talking about some showers and storms that have been firing off of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, which have actually caused some waterspouts to develop, and we have been seeing quite a few recently, especially yesterday. I believe we had multiple waterspout sightings, but these are going to be possible as we get into tonight, because we do have more strong to severe thunderstorms that are currently marching their way through upstate New York. So I definitely do think that through the rest of this week, we'll still have the chance for some isolated strong to severe thunderstorms and maybe even some waterspouts, but really the rest of the country, at least for the central and eastern half, will be mostly dry. But the same cannot be said here for the western United States. We have many flood watches going out all the way from extreme southwestern Montana down through southern Idaho, a lot of Nevada here, far eastern interior California here, so Sierra Mountains, the mountain passes, guys, you need to be staying safe, staying ahead of the weather here. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings. We are seeing flash flood warnings already out there into a few counties in Southern California due to this very, very heavy rainfall that's causing mudslides and just obviously that localized flash flooding. But flood watches have also been extended into portions of southern Utah and even western Colorado. So anywhere in this dark green shade, this is where we have that flood watch. This is where we can expect a lot of rain over the next couple of days. And again, as we saw on the radar, very, very messy kind of picture that we saw there. So again, this will likely continue throughout the rest of this week, with flooding downpours being likely. But we also, as a result of that ridge, we do have some heat advisories going out for portions of Washington State, as well as even some excessive heat warnings, or extreme heat warnings. So very, very intense heat going on across portions of eastern Washington State. So please, if you are in the Pacific Northwest, you're taking time to heed all warnings and watches there, as we are talking about some very hazardous conditions and even some red flag warnings going out for portions of southern Oregon and northern California, where it just is barely dry enough to see dangerous fire conditions, as well as obviously those gusty winds. So, big time weather going on here across portions of the western United States, while the central and eastern United States stays cool. And if you take a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, speaking of that cooler air, you could say this map is going to please a lot of people. This is issued as of August 26th. This is actually issued today. This is valid for September 1st to 5th. So this is not where we are right now. This is going to be as we get into the first couple of days of September. Notice how we have a huge below average spot here for your temperatures across all the central United States, especially the southern plains there from northern Texas all the way up through southern Nebraska. We have a 50 to 60% chance of below average temperatures, and we have another 50 to 60% chance little zone here for the Carolina coastline up through the mid-Atlantic. So anywhere in this blue shade, we're talking about a significant cool down here with another big shot of cooler Arctic air. Again, that will start us off here as we get into our late summer, early fall kind of season. So pretty much perfect conditions with this next shot of cold air. But you can see the western United States stays very, very warm there with that above average spot right into portions of northwest Oregon and Washington State. So the Pacific Northwest will continue to bake there with likely more extensions of those extreme heat warnings. But above average temperatures can also be expected here all the way up into portions of Alaska. So really anywhere from the southwest United States up through the west coast into the west coast of Canada and all the way up through Alaska, we could be talking about extremely above average temperatures over the next couple of days. But again, the central eastern United States remaining cool for the foreseeable future. But we take a look now at the GFS 2-meter temperature anomalies here. So this is going to give us an idea of which areas are seeing above average and which areas are seeing below average temperatures. So starting at where we are right now, you can see obviously our picture is pretty kind of easy to point out. Again, this big shot of cold air coming down from southern Canada, bringing a big time shot of cold air all the way down to the Gulf Coast, where we're talking about temperatures as low as 15 degrees below average in portions of the Ohio Valley and the lower Midwest. And again, you can see that huge ridge building all the way up into Canada with all this tropical moisture and just warm air getting shot up right through the western United States. So two different air masses here kind of shaping what our weather is looking like across the country as of right now. So we take a look over the next couple of days if this pattern will hold. And what the GFS is going for is not only this cold shot to last a couple more days, but as we get into Friday of this week, GFS is going for another shot of cold air to go down, especially into the northeastern United States, where we could see temperatures as low as 20 degrees below average. So again, more cold air expected, which will likely bring dry conditions and just very, very nice conditions with it. And as a result, that ridge definitely does strengthen there. A little bit farther north, though, farther into Canada, so all the way up into southern Canada, we're talking about potentially up to 20 degrees above average temperatures there. So it's kind of a flip-flop kind of pattern here, where, a few days ago we were talking about very, very above average temperatures and very just warm conditions across the eastern United States. So that's all changing right now and will continue to change over the next couple of days. So then we get into our first couple of days of September, and this still holds. And you can see even some blues showing up here across portions of northern, or really this would be central Canada here. So southern provinces in Canada need to be on alert because the GFS is going for absurd temperature anomalies with up to 30 degrees above average temperatures looking possible here. This is just about 135 hours out, but the GFS going for a extreme heat wave here across portions of southern and central Canada there. So, I mean, we're lucky that it's not going to be impacting us here in the eastern United States, where Again, already by the early portion of next week, we still do have another batch of cold air moving down from the upper Midwest farther down to the eastern United States, with, again, temperatures as low as 20 degrees below average being possible. But this will be a very, very strong ridge that will likely hold for multiple weeks, it looks like. And as we get into kind of la-la land here, past 250 hours out, I mean, this is when the GFS gets a little wonky with forecasting, so we need to take this all with a grain of salt. But just to kind of put this into perspective, this pattern the GFS wants to hold for quite a while, where it continues to deliver cold shot after cold shot there. Again, just a lot of cold and, kind of early fall-like temperatures here into the eastern United States over the next couple of weeks. So it really does look like September is going to start off with a bang here across the central and eastern United States, while the western United States stays very, very hot. Alright, so that's going to be it for your temperature forecast. Now we look at the GFS model, where we are talking about a potential homegrown development system here that will possibly form over the next couple of weeks here across the East Coast, and will possibly even move up the East Coast as we get into the first couple days of September. So we start out here by taking a look at what we got going on around August 30th. You can see a lot of low pressure and just a lot of thunderstorm development with this storm system bringing a lot of rain over the southeast. This is what I want you guys to focus on, pretty much just this giant green blob. Alright, and so we continue to take this out a little bit further, and I mean, you could start to see a little bit of organization developing just as this thing makes its way off the coast of Florida and the southeast. So this is as we're getting into our September 1st, so our Monday, beginning a new work week. Again, this is the green blob that I want you guys to focus in on. You can see it is starting to look a little bit stronger there, with heavier precipitation rates, and even those isobars starting to circle around the storm. So basically that just gives you guys an idea of the storm being able to start rotating slowly, and it does begin to organize swiftly as it takes that turn north. And at this point we're getting into Tuesday, September the 2nd here, and we do have a 1,008 millibar likely tropical depression or even low-end tropical storm just off the coast of North Carolina, even closer than Hurricane Erin was just a few days ago. But this time our low pressure system is bringing heavy rain to the Outer Banks and is continuing to strengthen as it moves north. And you can see at this point we likely have a fully fledged tropical storm. Again, this is getting into September 2nd, so Tuesday night into Wednesday morning of next week, so not too far out, just about 160 hours. The GFS going for a 1,003 millibar low pressure system that is likely a high-end tropical depression, low-end tropical storm, and it brings it into the northeast here and makes a landfall as likely a high-end tropical storm, low-end Category 1 hurricane right here in southern New England. So again, this is 186 hours out, so you're probably thinking, well, if it's not too far out, then why aren't we talking about impacts yet? Well, if you look at past GFS runs, it hasn't been showing the same thing exactly. It's been showing, some runs have not been showing the storm developing at all, and that was just one of today's runs. Others bring it into a completely different place, and so now today's run of the GFS brings it into the northeast, which with one of the more worst case scenarios, so thankfully it's not looking like it's going to be a strong system at all. But basically what I'm trying to tell you guys is that we really don't have a huge signal yet from the models, and this is just a brand new signal. So, I mean, we really don't know if this is going to form for sure, even though it's not too far out, but we'll just have to continue to watch for this to kind of latch for the models to latch onto. But the storm continues to ride into the northeast coastline there, and then eventually moves on out. So again, that is a landfalling, likely tropical storm, low-end Cat 1 hurricane, bring a lot of heavy rain and some strong winds into the New England coastline, and then moving on out. Alright, so that's the latest GFS. What about the European model? Well, the European model also does bring that bit of Gulf moisture there into the southeast, where you see once again that green blob right around the 30th, with even already a low pressure system developing. So this would already bring a lot of moisture, a lot of rainfall into the southeast. And then by the time we get into the 31st, it makes its way offshore, and you can see it's already producing a lot of showers and thunderstorms, pretty much in the exact same place the GFS had it. So we continue to kind of put this in motion here, and it slows down quite a bit over the southeast, and then starts to shoot up north and a little bit closer to land here, so it is starting to hug the coastline more, which could definitely limit development. But the latest European model also brings a storm into the northeast, where it kind of rides the coastline here and makes a landfall in southern New England as a 999 millibar likely tropical storm. So the GFS and the European model both agreeing on a tropical storm developing, but not only that, but also the storm actually making a landfall and impacting portions of the northeastern United States. So I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I'm definitely saying that there is a signal for a potential tropical storm to develop here over the next couple of days. And if this does develop, we'll definitely have to start talking about our folks out here really all along the eastern seaboard, because again, there is a chance that everyone will be affected, but again, there also is a chance that this storm will not form at all. But again, European model bring a likely tropical storm into southern New England with heavy rain, gusty winds, and then it moves on out. So, another way to look at this is we can look at the ensemble. So we're going to start out here first with the GFS ensemble, and it does actually have quite a few members that do pop off some low pressure signatures here. So again, you can see quite a few members bringing this into the United States, very close to the eastern coastline, and then a lot of them also taking that into southern New England. So I'd say there's about 5 to 10 members here that do have this impacting the United States, but there are quite a few members here that also take this way out to sea. So that's why we can't really jump to conclusions yet about if this is going to form and where this is going to go, because again, this is a very, very wide kind of just trajectory here, with all the ensembles kind of taking this all into view here. But if you were to make a forecast cone this early, again, it would be so big that, it would be, the southern end of it would be south of Bermuda, and the northern end of it would be going right into the northeast. So, obviously, it just doesn't make sense for us to do that yet, and so that's why we're not saying for sure that it's going to be impacting land even at all, and potentially not even developing. Alright, so to kind of counter that, we can now look at the European ensemble, and what it shows is completely different. The European ensemble actually shows about 5 to 10 members at all showing this storm developing. Again, most of them taking this out to sea, about 5 members taking it out to sea, but there is one singular member, which is the strongest out of all, which takes us directly into southern New England as likely a low-end Category 1 hurricane. So this actually, I believe, is the operational European model that we saw. So, again, European model not nearly as aggressive of a signal as the GFS, but the operational European model does still show that storm developing. So really just something to watch over the next couple of days. Nothing official yet, but again, definitely looks like something to keep track of, as the models have definitely picked up on a signal for something to develop over the next couple of days. And so another thing I do want to take a look at is Tropical Storm Ferdinand, which is currently spinning out here across the North Atlantic Ocean. You can see he is popping off some pretty good convection over the last couple of minutes. So pretty small, compact system, pretty weak system, but I just want to give you guys the latest from the National Hurricane Center. So this is actually Fernand, so it is not Ferdinand, so sorry for the mispronunciation there. But Fernand is currently a tropical storm here. The latest advisory has a very, very small, compact tropical storm wind field, and Fernand is not really expected to do much other than bother the fish out here in the North Atlantic. He is expected to continue to kind of churn out here across the North Atlantic and, not even come close to Atlantic Canada or Bermuda. So, Fernand is definitely catching some of the attention of local meteorologists and stuff. Maybe you've heard about it on the news or anything. But Fernand is not expected to become a threat to land. It's way past the United States. I mean, the United States is like 500 miles away from it. So, no impacts are expected from Fernand to anybody, really, other than potentially Great Britain and Ireland out there, but obviously this is not a channel that focuses on European weather. But I do have a channel that I recommend watching, Weather Watcher. He does great detailed forecasts, frequent forecasts for everyone in Europe. So if you are looking for a accurate weather forecaster in Europe, make sure you go check out his channel. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next video.